Previously on Frack
I
The
don't think we're gonna
Canon.
see that. I don't think we're gonna see that realistically. Tokaya.
Uh, like I said, I can't wait to see what happens, and I hope you get to eat your words.
We'll see if I'm wrong. We'll film it and be like, Tokaya, you were right. I eat my words. But if I was right, what do you do?
I'll eat my words.
Frack on. Welcome to the episode of Frack the Canon. I am joined by the coolest mother of frackers around. I am joined by Sarah. How are you doing, ma'am?
Good. It's been a while. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here. It's been a long time. It's been last time we did one was a year ago. Sounds
I
about
did, I think I did the unreleased Bluey episode that no one's seen,
that doesn't
right?
count because it's not released yet. So
Yeah, the secret Bluey episode that no one's seen. And I don't actually remember what I did before then because I had another baby and now I don't watch TV.
see, all I'm hearing is reasons not to have a baby. Um,
No, they're amazing, really.
um, that's what I hear. But I'm very selfish and still am. At this point right now, maybe the right woman will change my mind, if that makes sense. Um,
Maybe.
Anywho, so we'll talk about Agatha All Along.
A sigil is a spell?
You lost the Darkhold.
Is Wanda Maximoff really dead?
Tommy! Where's your power now? That was quite a debut, Billy.
Power doesn't interest me.
Where have I heard that before? I didn't think you had it in you.
What do you mean?
You actually did something interesting with your power.
I don't need you anymore. I don't know if I ever did.
Death comes for us all. You survived. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you special. That's what makes you a witch.
I'm not like you.
You're right. You're so much like your mother.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I think this might be my favorite of the Marvel TV series that has been released so far. And I didn't expect that.
I agree with you too because I felt I was surprised how much I liked it. Like I remember I loved WandaVision. And this one, well, it's been a minute since we saw it. Actually, we did do an episode recap before the final episode with other Sarah and Renee and Tyler. We didn't do the last episode. So, what did you think overall? Like, I mean, I felt like this was one of the most strongest character-driven shows. And the nerd in me was like, again, I'm gonna become a nerd. That's when the kid showed up, when the teenager showed up, I'm like, that's Wiccan. That's Billy Maximoff. Like, I knew who that is. That's because originally when he showed up in Young Avengers, he was his guardian, but we didn't know who they were because we thought in comic book terms, all right, this is just a knockoff of Teen Titans, but the Avengers version of it. What is this? And so when they finally did reveal who they were, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I was like, okay, cool. So we're eventually getting to Young Avengers. I get the story of the final episode where she reveals like we see who she will, her whole story of like a kid. I'm like, this is so classic Marvel, dude. Like the villain, like having human reasons for doing what they do. The Witch's Road song, everything. I was like, oh, it was just chef's kiss. Like I haven't seen it since I saw it when it first came out, but it was just I remember being blown away. I'm like, this is really good. I want more of
Yeah.
this. I want more of. And I remember I don't know if you saw She-Hulk, but I guess originally they wanted Madison to be one of the other witches. But then we
Okay.
couldn't get her rights. But I'm like, oh, thank God, because I love that character and I don't want her to die. Because I think most of
Yeah.
them died except for the Green Witch.
Yeah, well, no, not the Green Witch, the one that did the healthcare stuff. The Green Witch was the the mom from that 70s show. She died in like the first challenge, right? And then
Oh,
they pulled uh death into their into their circle.
that's right. Yeah, and yes, I forgot about that. But I was like, I was going over. I was doing a quick summary of like because I didn't remember most of it. But okay, cool. I remember that. I remember that. But I remember no, because it was the black woman, the bald one. She was
Yeah,
yeah. I thought she was like when I meant
because she was the potions. She was the potions one.
yeah, that's what I meant by the Green Witch because she was the one that used
Oh,
the
okay.
word and everything.
Hmm.
Not like I'll get you and your doggy too.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because that was cool too when they were using all the other Disney witches. I'm like, that's pretty ingenious. Like that show was so well.
There was just so much in it. Like I wish I could like after watching the last episode, I wished I could go back and rewatch it again because your perspective on how everyone behaves changes because you know more about their motivations and it's got to be so different to watch it if you watched it again because you would be like, oh, I know what's going on here. This is what she's trying to do. But I just love the Witches Road. I thought it was such a fascinating location. Like I was sitting there being like, what challenge is going to be next? Like,
Yeah, it was so well done. It was done really well. I'm like, and I like that it's very. It was written by a woman, created by a woman, directed by a woman. I'm like, all right, cool, because I'm like, all right, this is an authentic show. I'm like, for like a woman. I saw it as woman empowerment. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading that. I don't know. Did you see that?
well,
Did
it
you see
passed the test. I forget the name of the test. Like where there's women in a series that they talk about things that are not men. Like um oh my gosh,
Oh
I
yeah,
forget the
yeah,
name of
yeah.
it. Yeah, it passes it with like flying colors because women have conversations with other women that are not about
There's
men. And
no, sorry, go ahead.
I of course, like I find those shows tend to be better anyways because they have characters with more dimension than just a two-dimensional female characters. But yeah, it was definitely like there was like not that many male characters even in it. Really, it was mostly women driven.
Okay, so I
So
found it. I did some quick internet search. I believe it's called the Bechdel test.
the Bechdel test, yes.
And the Bechdel test, and again, I'm reading this here online. The Bechdel test is a measure used to evaluate the representation of women in film and other forms of fiction. It originated from a comic strip by Alison Bechdel in 1985. The test has three main criteria. The film must have at least two female lead characters. These characters must talk to each other. Their conversation must about be something other than a man.
Hmm. It's like the simplest thing, but it's actually kind of crazy how many movies like don't do that. Like big ones. Like I would actually say a lot of the Avengers movies don't pass the Bechdel test.
No, and it's funny because as I'm going back and writing one of my scripts, I'm like, it's one of my characters, the main character, it became very female heavy. I'm like, mine, I'm like, all my characters are female heavy. I need to get a woman to write this with me because the story went that way. So I'm all right, cool. Like, and going back and looking at my scripts, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of dudes in my scripts and one or two main character women, and they don't talk to each other. So I've already failed. So I got to go back. But I was surprised. Back to Agatha All Along. I was just surprised. I'm like, how are you gonna make a story about Agatha, dude? Like, what is this? And then just the witches road, the other witches, and then the twist of the whatever was his name was like the teenager. We find out
Hmm.
so the last episode or second last episode, we find out he's Billy Maximoff. Not is it Billy? Yeah, Billy. I'm like Wiccan.
Yeah.
You're doing Wiccan. Like I freaking called it. Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty cool. But it's also kind of sad because like I mean, he takes over another kid's body who died, which is, kind of sad.
Which
And
is
and that really appeals to Agatha though too, because she's there's one point where she says that's what boys do, they die. And it's like I knew when they started talking about her son, I'm like, something happened and it twisted her and made
right.
her who she is. And when we find out what she went through, I was like, as someone who is a mom, I was like, oh my God, like I can't even imagine.
So I remember talking about this with when we did. Now that I'm not thinking about it, back last year, I remember talking with other Renee, were thinking like they were like I was thinking that they were gonna. I don't remember. They were gonna throw each other under the bus. Like someone was gonna turn on the other person, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I think I said no. Agatha's gonna stick with Billy, and she said no. I think she's gonna throw him under the bus. I think they're gonna fight or whatever. And I said they're gonna team up to fight death. But at the end of the day, like we were both right. She was more right than I was. Like they ended up fighting each other anyways, and the reason why she turned to Billy to help was because like she was losing. Like, I need you to help me win. So I'm like, how did you feel about that? Like,
Well, I don't think she really fought. I would say she used him a little bit, but then let him go, right? Because he didn't die. She didn't suck all his power out of him. She let him go. And then she kind of sacrificed herself for him. And I think she saw her son in that moment. And um she like I wouldn't trust her. Like I don't think she's a trustworthy character. Maybe she's more trustworthy now that she's a ghost. Not to I mean spoilers, but I I wouldn't rely on her for anything, but I think she does have some good in her, which makes her really interesting because like you don't really know what she's gonna do. Like I know we're gonna talk about Captain America. You always know what Captain America is gonna do. He's gonna do the right thing. He's gonna like he's so predictable. Or like, of course
yeah,
he's gonna save everyone. He's gonna do this. He's gonna sacrifice himself. With Agatha, you don't know. You're sitting here on pins and needles, being like, is she gonna screw everyone over, or is she gonna, you know, actually show something good? And it's just it's way more interesting because you just don't know what's gonna happen.
all right. So we started giving the last couple episodes we did yesterday. We started giving it fracks out of 5 fracks. How many fracks did you give it?
Is 5 really good?
Yeah, like one being like from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and
The
one being
best. I would give it a 5. So to put it in perspective, like I watched, I don't know how many, I don't remember. Is it 8 episodes, 7 episodes, something
I
like
think it's
that?
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched all episodes except for one, and then we had to go on vacation, and I didn't have time to watch the last episode. And I was sitting on vacation being like, I need to watch Agatha because I don't know what happens, and now I have to wait for several days. And to me, that's just a good sign of something. Like I was having trouble stopping watching it. So yeah, I wish I had time to watch it again at this point, but yeah.
I'm gonna go and watch it again because I remember, like I said, like we talked about it, and I just never went back to finish. Like I never back to rewatched it. I saw we were supposed to do an ending episode, and we never did. But I'm glad we didn't because you get to do this one with us. But it is a good show. Like you can always go back and watch shows, and I do that with Frasier and X-Men '97. But this is one of those shows where I'm like, it's not background noise. You have to sit and pay attention to that show because it's not. You miss anything, you miss a little beat, and it's just you forget the whole purpose of that scene or that episode. And I just remember being like, this is one of those shows, and I just like every actress in that show was firing on all cylinders. I'm like, they were just amazing, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is a really good show.
I definitely agree.
And then Catherine Hahn, because Catherine, we always see her playing like mostly comedic roles, but I'm like, dude, like you really are a great actress. Like you are really good. Like, and that's something that I think I've never really said a lot, but like in comic book, people just throw off comic books as like comic book movies, comic book shows, like whatever, just fantasy, science fiction. I'm like, no, dude, like these are character-driven stories with this like X factor, this not Deus Ex Machina, but this supernatural, superpowered icing dressing. I'm like, no, this is these, and dude, this, do that, dude, do that. This was like one of those like shows where I'm like, dude, this is such, and I'm like, this should have been nominated for an Emmy or something. Like, but because it's a superhero show, it's a comic book show, it wasn't going to get it.
No, but it's about grief. I really like it. I think it's like the same reason you liked WandaVision. Like it's about grief and grieving, and there's a lot more to it than just being a superhero. So.
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah, it was great. It was amazing. I just can't talk any more good things about it. I mean, I haven't seen it since it first aired. I'm like, all right, because I do remember it was kind of like emotionally draining, but I was like the songs were awesome. Like I remember that was one of the shows that all social media was talking about: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. There were all these little. Like I didn't get into it because I'm like, I want to watch this. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to think about the theories. Like, let me just enjoy it and be blown away. Um, other Sarah was sending me stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, Sarah, stop! I want to think about this. And then the nerd in me was like, well, in comic books and blah blah blah. She goes, well, I'm like, but like, fair enough. I got so out of this, I would also give it 4 fracks, maybe 5. I'm gonna give it 5 fracks. This was really good.
Yeah. I struggle because sometimes I usually either really like something or really hate it. And so I'm like probably just gonna give everything like 1 frack or 5 fracks. But this one I definitely like is a 5 fracks. Like I really like it.
No, I gave some fracks for this show, and I gave it 5 fracks. I gave it all my fracks. I don't have anything else. I just remember. I hope we eventually see the Young Avengers, or I guess talking to TJ offline, the champions, like the Avenger, like because we've seen Wiccan, we've seen Hawkeye with Kate Bishop, we've seen Patriot, we've seen Ms. Marvel. I'm like, all right, you're leading up to the Young Avengers. Where are the Young Avengers? And so I'm like, what? But Kate Bishop is almost 30 now. I mean, Haley Cypher is
Yeah.
almost 30 years old. So I'm like, you can't really be a Young Avenger anymore. Like
Though older people play younger all the time. I don't know. We'll
do,
see what they
but
do.
yeah, she does still look young. She still does look she's in her early 20s.
Yeah.
Especially in Sinners. I'm like, you're yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we do what else we're watching?
Yeah, what are we watching?
So the one show I want to recommend right now is, of course, I'm still behind everything, but Alien Earth. I watched the first episode
How was that?
and I love it so far. So for 1 episode in, I'm sold. And it's interesting because they start out on the ship, and so I'm used to, Aliens, Alien 3. It's the trauma in the ship and the alien, like the face hugger comes and everyone has to figure out, and then the aliens come out and you fight them. And they kind of skipped all that and have the ship crash on Earth. And I found it so fascinating how they took what I expected to happen and like flipped it. And we don't get the face hugger is attacked, aliens bursting out of people's chests on the ship. That's already done. So we're like down the road. And so I'm really excited to see where they go because it's different from what I expected. Like I kept waiting for that story to happen, and it's not a redo of the originals. And it's not like they're not playing the same beats. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen next.
Because there's another movie that I think ties to this. Like, I think it's called Alien Romulus, but it takes place before Alien. Like, I think it's maybe before in between Prometheus and Alien, and it's somewhere. Is that the show? Is it the show, or does it take place Aliens?
This takes place in the future. Like, well, I mean, they all take place in our future. So I would say, I would think it has to take place after Alien, because they already know. I think they already know that aliens exist, and they were going, like, the ship was on a mission to collect them.
Okay, I'm so now knowing that, I definitely will. What is it called? Alien Earth, right?
Alien Earth. It's on FX or Hulu if you have Hulu.
Hulu. Okay, cool. I mean,
but I really like it. It has Timothy Olyphant. I don't know how you say his name. The guy from Justified, and I would honestly watch anything with him in it. So,
I know him as All the Fantastic because of Kevin Smith. That's what he called him in a movie he was one of the episode actors in. So I'm like, Timothy All the Fantastic.
that guy.
You know what? Let me just ask, where in the timeline does Alien Earth take? Because I remember they were showing everywhere on the internet was that it was they showed one of the characters from. Okay, here we go. So according to the internet, Alien Earth takes place in the year 2020, 2120.
I'm like, there's no way it's
the events of the original 1979 from Alien, which is set in 2122.
Oh, so it's before. Okay.
Okay. So does that explain? Does that make clarify things for you, or does it change things for you?
Not really. To me, it's a kind of almost it's standalone. Like I don't see them popping Sigourney Weaver into there or anything. Okay. So I'm just interested to see what they do. Because so far it's not even really about the aliens. It's kind of more about humanity and artificial intelligence and stuff. So I'm into it.
which is very timely for us right now too. So I definitely
Yeah.
it's on my list to watch. I'm adding it to my queue now. What am I watching? I'm watching on Hulu. So Welcome to Wrexham has a sister series now called Welcome to Necaxa. And I'm like, all right, cool. Only because I'm like, let's see this. I'm not like Sarah. I'm not a big fan of soccer. And as a Mexican American, I'm not a fan of soccer in general. Period. Like even especially Mexican soccer. But I'm watching it just to watch and to see what it's like. And I'm like, this is kind of cool. But for some reason, I care more about the Wrexham team than I do about the Necaxa team. What else am I watching right now? I'm watching the new season of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. This season is really weird. Like it feels. I mean, it's episodic, but like it's not as strong as the last two seasons. And I'm like, all right, what? So what's happening? Like it just, to my taste, it's not as strong as the first two seasons. There's an episode of the last season, season 2. We'll get a crossover with Lower Decks, which is the animated show. And so they brought in live action little characters, 2 characters, and I love it because it's a comedy. And Star Trek is a little bit of everything, right? But that episode was just a comedy, and it was so good. But this season, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't understand what the goal is here. But I'm still watching it. But like the last episode I saw, I'm like, what was this about? It was a documentary episode. I'm like, they're making us Starfleet authorized a documentary. I'm like, so why? Like, and I didn't understand what happened. I'm like, I need to watch it again. And that's really it. Those 2 are the ones that I'm watching right now.
Yeah, I'm behind on my Star Trek. I need to catch up.
You should watch Lower Decks. That's really funny. And
I might. I don't know if I'm current on Lower Decks, but I'm close.
Okay.
I haven't done Strange New Worlds.
You should definitely watch Strange New Worlds. I don't know if you like it because I know you're more of a next gen and beyond kind of gal,
Mm-hmm.
and this is very much pre TOS. This is before like Kirk shows
But
up.
I like original. I would say those are my 2, original and next gen.
Yeah, and we've talked about this many times. Like, I'm more
Yes.
next gen Deep Space Nine, but I mean not next gen TOS and Deep
Yeah.
Space Nine. CJ is a big Voyager fan, and I'm like, I don't. It's so hard for me. I watched the first. I'm like, so hard. I don't care for this crew.
I never even tried to do Voyager, but
what else? Any final comments? Any final thoughts on Agatha All Along?
not just I would recommend it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's really good. The Witches Road song too is really cool too, and the whole it's take away the power, take away the Marvel Universe stuff, and it's still a good show. It's still a really, really adult show, for lack of a better word. Because like same thing with Daredevil, Born Again. Like it's very comic booky, but take away that, and it's still a good show. Actually, that's not true. I don't know if I could watch it without the superhero stuff. Daredevil, Born Again. We'll talk about that later. Another episode. But thank you, Sarah. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you same.
Sure.
Any final comments?
I'm just glad to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here too. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.